How are you guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about aquarium lighting. A lot of people ask, what lights should I be using for my planted aquarium? So today I'm going to share with you the research I've done, the different types of lights I've used, and what I find works the best for me. At the same time, keeping costs low, because I think that, especially if you're new to this hobby, there's a lot better things, worthwhile things you can spend your money on, like filter media, biological filter media, than something like lights. Because these lights, for the cost of them, they work wonders. What I have back here, I've had for over a year now. It's I use Cfl bulbs, so compact fluorescent bulbs. They cost, I think, 6 for $8. It's relatively cheap. I bought the fixtures for $10 each at Walmart. So all three of these, combined with the bulbs, they probably cost around $40 included, with tax included. And these work really well for my plants. If you're gonna go for CFL bulbs, I would definitely recommend 6500K bulbs, because that spectrum allows for a very broad daylight spectrum that helps plants, because plants, they thrive in red wavelengths and blue wavelengths, and the 6500K bulbs we have like a wide spectrum. They're really good. Just check it out. If you go to any forum or do research, they all recommend 6500Ks. If you go any lower than that, like 2300 or like 1000 something, that wavelength, it promotes a lot of algae growth, and you don't want that. Also, you don't want sunlight. The reason why my drapes are open right now is because I actually want to grow algae in that tank, but you don't want sunlight, because for one, it heats up your tank a lot, and for two, it grows a lot of algae, which is unsightly. You don't want algae. I want algae in that tank because I have red cherry shrimps in there, and that's what they eat, and I wanted to give them a better diet, because the babies, they can't really eat the food I give them as well, so they need algae in the tank. I've been using those lights in this tank actually. I've had this tank for a while now. This new light that I bought several months ago, I think 4 months ago, it's just a standard shop light, but what I really like about it is it's compatible with T8 fluorescent bulbs as well as T12s. I have the package here. I brought it out for you guys. You don't really need to see what it is. It's just a standard shop light. Well, it's T8, T12. I bought it at Lowe's for $22 plus tax, 24. And the bulbs I have in here, I have a T8 and a T12. The T8 I have in here, I don't believe you can see it because it's too bright, is a standard 6500K daylight bulb, which is the same as my CFLs over there. However, it's a higher wattage. This bulb here is 32 watts. Those ones are 13 watts each. And the second bulb I have here is a General Electric Ecolux for plants and aquarium bulb. It's not that expensive. I think one was $6 or $7 at Lowe's as well. And the reason why I use two different bulbs here is to increase the spectrum, because plants thrive in red wavelengths and blue, and the daylight provides a bit of both. And usually a lot of plants, they use red a lot more. So then the grow bulb, essentially, it provides a lot of red wavelengths as well. So I've tried to each of the same thing, 2 planted bulbs versus 1 planted bulb and 1 daylight bulb, and I find that the mixture of the two actually grew my plants a bit better. And I've done research on it. I would suggest a mixture of both. And I really like this actually. For cost wise, this is probably this setup. This was $23, $7, so that's 30, and this was $8, $38. It's about the same price. Certainly that looks better, and it's more. This one is, if you can see, it's not even the right length, and it's hard to put on your tank, especially if you have all these pipes everywhere. However, in terms of lighting wise for your plants, I would definitely recommend this. As you can see, my plants, they're growing really well. I have no complaints about this at all. Next, let's talk about wattage. A lot of people, they recommend 2 watts per gallon basically for a tank, and 1 watt per gallon is fine. 3 watts, it's good too. It's higher. 4 is even higher. What I have right here is actually, I have 32 watts plus 40 watts. So I have 72 watts. So that's approximately 3.5 watts per gallon, because this is a 20-gallon tank. I find that works really well for me. It was better than when I had those 3 bulbs here. So 3.5 watts per gallon is what works for me, what works for my plants. I have here, I have Java Moss, which doesn't really need that much light, to be honest. I have Water Sprite, and I have Dwarf Sagittarius, or Sagittarius, whatever you call it. And I find 3.5 watts per gallon in this tank is working really well for me. If you're going to go higher, I wouldn't recommend anything higher than 4. Unless you have a CO2 system. If you're going to go higher than 4, I would recommend getting a CO2 system. I actually would go against doing a do-it-yourself CO2 system for the sole reason that you cannot have a timer on it. It doesn't turn off at night, because when CO2 comes out at night, the plants don't really absorb CO2 at night. So what that does, it messes up with your pH in your tank, and that's really bad for your fish. That can potentially kill your fish, and that's not good. I've done do-it-yourself CO2 systems before. I have a few here actually, but I took it off because I find my plants, in the beginning when I had a few plants, like 3 plants, I actually started with 3 Dwarf Sagittaria and a little pinch of Java Moss, and I wanted to grow as fast as possible, and I put CO2 and everything. My fish didn't die. I mean, it was okay, but it's not necessary now, because honestly, I have too many plants. I might even give away some because they're overpopulating my tank, and my placo has nowhere to clean. Yeah, that's about it. That's my video. If you like my video, please like it, and I'm gonna make more videos in the future. Please subscribe as well if you can. And yeah, have a good day, and we'll see you next time.